Imagine going to work only to get a phone call that your child looks like they're struggling to breathe. And then on top of it, the person calling you doesn't want to call 911. Stay with me and we're going to talk about it.
The top dog, I know these niggas all want my position, cause I'm putting up numbers like a statistician. The king back like LeBron when he returned to Cleveland. Time to spread the bag around, make sure we all eating. Heard some niggas think they got us, guess we all even.
I wish I could swap places with him. I wish it was me instead of him. I wish this never happened to him. I wish I never met that man. I wish I never met Chris. I wish I never met him if I knew the monster he was. I went to work, and then around like 7:27, he called me talking about my baby barely breathing. And he video chatted me, and I looked at my baby, and I told him to call the ambulance because I could tell something was wrong with my child. And he was like, nah, you come home and take him to the emergency room. So when I got there, he opened the door, and he went and sat down, kicked his feet up on the bed like it wasn't nothing. And my son was in the car seat breathing like he was barely breathing, like he was trying to catch his breath, like he was like that. And then like, I had just grabbed my baby and left out. Drove out, pulled into a little parking spot and called the ambulance. The ambulance came. I took my baby out the car and gave him to the ambulance. They told me that he had a fractured skull and a blood clot, and they had to do surgery immediately. They took half of his skull off so that his brain could swell. They had room to swell, so there won't be no pressure on his brain. Come to find out that my son was like brain dead the whole time. So that was like very devastating to me. Like I cried so hard it wasn't even funny. Like I felt like I was finna die. Hey, grandson. Oh my God, really? Ooh, that's my big boy. Jayden was like a special little boy. When you be around him, he'll just laugh, smile, play. Like, he was just a goofy baby, and he touched a lot of people's hearts, even mine. And I just want these females to know, these young women to know they got kids and babies. You can't trust everybody, even with people with kids, even men too. You can't trust these women out here. You can't trust nobody. Don't leave your child with anybody. I don't care how long you been talking to them. I don't care what, this and that. Don't. Because things like this happen.
This is really quite the predicament. Very sad. My condolences and love goes to this mother. I hope she at some point finds some kind of peace, which this will never be something that she gets over. I mean, that's just the reality of it. We could say, like she said, you have to be careful of who you're leaving your child with. Don't leave your child with anybody. We could say that, but let me explain something to you. A lot of cases, people show you who they are, right? But there are some cases you get to really realize how crazy people are at the wrong moment. And I doubt if she had any inkling, she would have left her child with this man. At the same token, when we look at the prices of child care, how expensive it is, it's some people's mortgages for child care. I know me personally, my first child, I had to pay people to watch them. And that had its deficits, definitely. And maybe one day I'll get into that, but not today. Today is not the day. And I had to go through other unconventional situations or means to get child care that most people wouldn't want to do. And the reason being is because you can't damn near have a house and pay child care or vehicles or what something's going to sacrifice. So they make it so complicated unless you're like a single mother and you're getting some kind of assistance for the child care and stuff like that. Everything in this country is unrealistic. So I bring that up to say this young woman had to work. She had to provide for herself and she had to provide for her child. Again, I'm sure child care played a factor. And a lot of people are working. You got the situation where a lot of people are working. You got the scenario where there's not a community help system. So we're not helping one another like we should. I do agree that when you have children, you should be able to take care of them. But at the same time, somebody's got to watch your kids while you go to work. I mean, that's just realistic. you can't take your kid on your back to work, especially not in healthcare. Every environment is not even safe to take your kid. You can't do a job and have your kid there unless you work from home, and unfortunately everyone cannot work from home. So this is one of those situations that's complicated. Now we could say you should be more prepared to have children, have some money put aside, but guess what? That's not realistic either. A lot of poor people are going to have kids at more of a rate than even people with the means to. So we can throw a lot of what ifs, a lot of scenarios, but the thing is, this is what we're dealing with, is life, and life how it is. Not how it should be, not how we think it should be, but how it is. Some things are good talking point for advice, but in this case, this is too late for advice. We're looking at a situation where a child has lost their life as a result of some sick motherfucker that should have been put down probably a long time ago. What was the reason that you beat this child? The child was crying too much for you or whatever? I mean, it's no justifiable reason. We don't even have to go down a list. This man is being charged with capital murder, and he should be. No child came into this planet for you to beat it to death and send it back to kingdom come. That was not his destiny. That wasn't it. That wasn't a plan. That wasn't his claim to fame. But apparently that's your claim to fame, because everybody's going to know you as the baby killer, the one that beat a child to death. You had the audacity not to call 911, and at no point did your conscience even put your selfishness aside or overpower your selfishness to call and say, you know what, I messed up, but this child deserves a fighting chance. You didn't want to do it. You told the mother to come home. Somebody ought to beat your ass. Every family member she got ought to come and beat the fuck out of you until you can't breathe. And then everybody stand and watch you to your last breath, and don't call 911, because that's what you deserve, you sick monster. My heart goes out to it, but she is right. As parents, many of us, unless we're out of our damn minds and sick, mean the best for our children. We want the best. At no point are you going to do everything right in life. You're going to make mistakes. Unfortunately, this young woman made a decision where she was not trying to put her child in harm's way, but ultimately it cost her child's life. And for that, that's very unfortunate, and that's something she will carry with her for the rest of her life. So there's a lot to be said about this, but I want you guys to go ahead and really reflect on what's going on here and give me your thoughts respectfully in the comments. Thank you for watching.